you very much, and thanks to Parramatta, Your Rights at Work, for being here tonight, and for being here, I must say, throughout the final years of the Howard Government, and being one of the lead groups that really showed us that we could actually get rid of the Howard Government. We're going to have to live with them forever. Can I say I have a problem with this? And I'll tell you why I have a problem with this. My problem with this is that I work in Macquarie Street in the Parliament, and I think I've got living evidence there is profit in crime. And what the biggest crime that is committed in Macquarie Street, which generates massive profits, is the issue of the perceived wisdom that permeates through the body politic. Everywhere you go, that wisdom dominates. And the wisdom is simply that privatisation, not just the outcome, but the process of privatisation, is not just about delivering better services. It's not just about improving the economy. What it's really about is making a better class of person in New South Wales. Who said that Margaret Thatcher was gone? Who said that Hayek was dead? Who said that Michael Costa is retired? We didn't need them, because now we've got Tripodi, we've got Rosendale, and we've got Comrade John Robertson, who are channeling those fine folk and continuing the layer upon layer of myth that makes up the whole edifice of privatisation. It's very straightforward. Those people are just ciphers. There is a far greater force that we have to defeat here than just the individuals. We need to focus on the reality of privatisation, which is it's coming from the force that comes out of corporate Australia, channelled through some of the hard right-wing universities, through the minds, so to speak, of politicians, and into the reality. What we need to do is strip away the layers of rhetoric. We need to get down to what they're really saying. What they're really saying is there's something wrong with public provision. What this perceived wisdom says is that it's not just about poor quality outcomes, it's not just about the cost, it's about the moral weakness that it creates in the people of New South Wales. And as long as we continue with public sector outcomes, then terrible things are going to happen, regardless of the volumes of evidence to the contrary, regardless of the track record of public electricity, public education and public ferries, public transport, public lotteries, the waste services network. Regardless of the track records, the things they have delivered to New South Wales, the myth persists. So what have we got on the chopping block right now? Well, it's simple. Anything that moves, anything that you can find a private sector buyer for is up for sale in New South Wales. This is the fire sale from Fire Sale Central. And I want to add one more to the list that the previous speaker gave. I want to put the process of education itself on the agenda. Because right now we're in the middle of a battle. I'm going to come back to the main topic in a minute. Right now we're in the middle of a battle over school league tables. And this is not anything to do with newspapers' rights to publish whatever rubbish they want. This is not anything to do with accountability for parents. This is everything to do with the idea that in the end you turn education into a market commodity. You bust the unions, you reduce education down to a simple set of numbers which can be traded on the open market. And if ever there were a step in the wrong direction, it is the privatisation of the commodity of the commodification of education. And if we're going to defeat all these privatisations, can we please add in simplistic school league tables and the commodification of education? I want to focus on the power sector for a minute and talk about what's happening in the electricity industry. I hate the expression, but it's lipstick on a pig. We've been told, I find it fascinating to listen to Nathan Rees. He's a very interesting man. What makes him more interesting than any other aspect of him is the fact that he shoots from the hip. So he makes it up as he goes along. And he'll get up there and he'll say, I'm sorry, but white is black. He'll say, we're not privatising the electricity industry, we're just, and that was wrong. You know, what Costa and Yemen tried to do was completely wrong. What we're going to do is completely different. So instead of handing over the electricity generators for 50 years, we're going to lease out the trading arms of the electricity generators for 25 years. The only difference there is 50 to 25. Because once you hand over the trading arms, you've handed over the electricity industry. Once you hand over the retailers to the private sector, the 94% of us who have our electricity accounts with public sector retailers, you're handing over all the details. Just as Costa and Yema wanted to do, you're handing over all the details and the electricity future to multinational corporations whose only interest is turning households into a cash cow, driving up electricity consumption, driving up their profits, at the same time driving up greenhouse gas emissions. They say the state budget needs $8 billion. We have to privatise the electricity industry because we desperately need that $8 billion. We will be giving away an income stream of $1 billion a year to get an upfront cash payment of $8 billion a year. That's not voodoo economics, that's asylum economics. That's right out of the loony bin. How could you possibly believe that giving away an annual income stream of $1 billion is worthwhile for an $8 billion cash in a pocket? Well, of course, if you only think you're going to be in power for another 2 years, that makes perfect sense. But if you're like the rest of us, and we live in this state for the rest of our lives or thereabouts, then that is an exceptionally poor deal. Besides which, who would sell a caravan that's been sitting out the back right now? We're in the middle of a global financial crisis, in case the New South Wales State Government hadn't noticed. So what's the reality of balancing the budget? Well, it's really simple. We're in hard times, we borrow, we know times will get better, we pay it back when we need to pay it back. That's not complex to do, but you can't do that in New South Wales because there's a small matter of the rating agencies, Moody's and Standard & Poor's. And of course, they know all about economics. In fact, they know everything there is to know about the global financial crisis. They damn well ought to. They caused it. It's their fault.